to the Charles Aris Executive Search Podcast. We thank you for tuning in today. For those who may not know, Charles Aris Executive Search is one of the leading retained search firms in the country, finding senior leaders of businesses for various industries and functions. My name is Casey Taves, and I work in our agriculture practice as an associate recruiter. The podcast today is another episode from our AgTech series, and I am joined today by Craig Maloney from Hugoson Pork. Craig, could you please provide an overview of your role and organization?
Sure. Craig Maloney, president, Hugoson Pork. We're a family-owned independent swine producer located in southern Minnesota. Market about 320,000 market pigs per year. Have a diversified agribusiness farm, feed mill operations that support our pork business, and then some other smaller family investments that go along with that. My role here as president is really operations driven, and so responsible for all the daily operations, strategic direction specific to the pork side of our business, and then interact with other members of the team on the farming, feed milling, and investment side.
Thank you for the introduction, and let's dive right in. As technology continues to evolve, what notable advancements have had a significant impact on your organization?
Specific to the swine industry, probably over the years, the biggest advancement has really been in controller technology. And so that sounds big. And that would be environmental controls, specifically inside a barn. As we move pigs from outside to inside, how do we manage their temperature? How do we manage the humidity, airflow, stuff like that within a facility? And then that was the starting point. And over time, then we added feed and we added water controls, and you add multiple different layers of technology that goes along with that. Now that is on a mobile app. You can remote into that and see what your pig barns are doing while people are picking corn, which will happen here in the future. And so that's probably one of the biggest ones that I would say today is ubiquitous across the industry. Every pig farm has got some sort of a controller inside of it to go from there. As you move out from that, there's a variety of different things that can get much more specific. As you roll into the feed mill side of the business, that is highly technology driven through controllers for manufacturing feed and making sure the specs are in line, and the mixing technology, and you can pretty much run a mill totally in automation. And then if you back further up, as you get into the farming integrated side of it, a little bit out of my lane, but the farming side and the GPS technology and some of the very precision agriculture stuff, all of that kind of rolls through, and very much in my career has gone from none of that to, today it's almost table stakes.
Absolutely. What technical advancements do you believe are needed to further advance and revolutionize your business?
A little bit like we were talking before, I think, what's the breadth of technology? How do people independently define that? As you really look in advancements and you look at specific to the swine industry, and even more specifically on the revenue side of it, the biggest thing that's out there is just on the cusp. Camera technology, and then AI, mechanical learning, kind of whatever you feel best about calling it. That technology is just around the corner to be able to go into a barn of 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 pigs and be able to pick out the individual ones that fit inside of a weight box or a size box. And so for people listening that may not be overly familiar with the industry, we try to have pigs as they are ready to go to harvest to eventually become bacon and pork chops and ham and barbecue, on the 4th of July. That they fit inside a window for size. So portions are very similar, fatness, marbling, all of those things are in there. Today, that's all done pretty much by human eye, some scale help, but around the corner, it is there to be able to take camera technology, AI technology, and go into a large population of animals and pick out the 175 that fit that mold and be able to get them on a truck and to the harvest plant, to be able to improve consistency of product, improve revenue, all of those things that kind of go along with it. That's probably the biggest next step that I see coming along on the pork side of the industry.
Awesome. So let's say someone is introducing that new technology to your organization and coming to you with it. What advice would you offer them?
That one's maybe a little bit more simplistic because it's specific to that example, the problem already exists, right? So it's a significant cost, it's a significant time aside from the human element side. It's a significant training. It's a very narrow skill set that fits into that. And so it's a very natural overlay for technology to be able to take narrowly focused, specific skill set, high training, high value, and defined a solution for that problem. So I think that's it. I think in general, as we talk about technology coming to the industry, a lot of times it's a solution to a problem that they're not sure is still out there or exists in the moment. And so as I have people talk to me about, what we've got this really cool, neat thing, like what can we do with it? It's like, well, you asked the wrong question because the question needed to be asked before you started. Hey, what are the things that are out there that are your biggest constraints? What are the things that people spend time doing that they could be doing something else? Counting pigs is a very simple one that comes to the forefront. Similar camera technology, if you have 300 or 500 or 800 pigs that come off a truck, some person is sitting there with a tally mark going 1, 2, 3 versus running them down an alley and letting a camera count the pigs and tell you with a level of accuracy how many are there. So there's some things out there that are pretty specific that my advice is come with a solution to an existing problem, and then let's build off of that for things that we may not know as a problem today or we may not know as a constraint, and let the technology help find some of those as we go forward after solving a base problem.
Great advice. Coming to the table with a solution to the problem. Love that. And with the rapid pace of change in technology, what talent needs are being exposed?
It's pretty interesting because as you spend time in barns with a variety of personalities and a variety of backgrounds, you have some people that are more than willing to pile in and quite honestly mess a bunch of stuff up. You have some people that are scared. They see a digital number or a dial or a camera, or they see, some sort of a software package specifically, and it's like, not touching that. Like, I don't know how to do it. And there's a gap in the middle there that I think is really the talent need, is a little bit of confidence to be able to go, okay, I can watch a tutorial and I can walk through how to set something up, or I can talk to a technical person. But technical people aren't going to work in barns every day. They're not going to take care of pigs every day. The people that are scared to do it aren't going to be able to take advantage of the actual technology. And so I think the gap is a little bit in the middle of people that are curious and want to take the technology and want to take it to a little bit of a next level, but also are folks that don't want to sit behind a computer screen all day. They don't want to be a coder. They don't want to be some of those other things. And finding someone that fits in that gap a little bit is really where we see kind of the constraint for a lot of the implementation thing.
Perfect. So bridging the gap between technology and the real world experience. That's great.
We all sit there and laugh about it's kind of taking grandpa and grandson, and going, okay, grandpa's over here and wants the old tractor, and grandson's over here that wants to do everything on the phone. And where do you bridge that gap in the middle and really make it a useful technology? And I think a ton of that is, what's the interface look like? Is it a scary thing with a lot of bells and whistles? Is it a toggle switch and that's it? And where is that to where it can be useful and user friendly, but also not intimidating to someone that's not comfortable with getting to the end game?
So let's throw in a fun question in there, Craig. Thank you for all the great information so far. But something I want to know is, what is one piece of technology that you could not go without in your day-to-day life?
Well, you've got the cliche thing, obviously, right? So everybody, I'm guessing, that's out there listening right now can reach and not even move and pick up their cell phone. So, cell phone is what I would say is the easy answer. And even if you take it back up from that and go, the concept of cellular service is one of those things where, all of these controllers we were talking about linked to the cellular, all of the stuff that's in a tractor today, GPS, a ton of that runs off of cellular. So many things are tied back to that cellular network. I think that's, definitely the thing that comes front of mind from that side of it. So, may sound a little bit cliche, but I think all of us, no matter what your industry, if you took our cell phones away, we would get a lot less work done and not have nearly as much fun doing it.
Absolutely. Cell phones are definitely our strength with calls, texts, emails, apps, and just everything we need. And that's all the time we have today, folks. Thank you again, Craig Maloney with Hugoson Pork, for joining us today. If anyone would like to get in touch with you in your operation, where can they find you?
We've got a webpage, hugosonpork.com would definitely be the easiest place, would have any sort of contact information that can reach out, learn a little bit more about our generational family business and how it's involved in the pork industry.
Perfect. Well, we invite listeners to tune into other podcasts from our AgTech series. Again, I'm Casey Taves with Charles Aris Executive Search, and you can find us on the web at charlesaris.com. Thanks.